The Red Wolves Coaches Show, sponsored by Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield, Arvest Bank, Super Sports Chevy Dealers, St. Bernard's Healthcare, and Stevens Incorporated.
All right, get them running side to side. Make them work.
One more? Yeah.
It was an unforgettable night in Las Vegas, and it started with that moment last night as head coach Blake Anderson returned to the Arkansas State Red Wolves. A-State then blowing out UNLV on the road by the final score of 43-17. That video, by the way, has been seen now hundreds of thousands of times on social media, and I can't imagine what the moment was like for you.
It was a lot of fun. Mixed emotions, to be honest with you. Didn't really make the decision to go until early in the morning. I did not want to be a distraction to the guys. Wanted to be uplifting. Wanted to bring some energy. It's hard to travel, and we've been apart for a while. So I struggled with whether or not to go, and just at the end of the day decided if there was an ounce of energy I can bring to the table, now's the time to go. My kids were pushing me out the door. Dad, you need to go, and I'm glad I did. It turned out, unbelievable. It was a great night.
The week before, A-State fell short to SMU in the season opener by the score of 37-30, and that was a game that went down to the final play. I know you watched tape of that game, even though you didn't watch it live. Went back, watched the tape, and obviously there were some missed opportunities in that game, but obviously your team came out, corrected a lot of things last night.
Yeah, we did. Number one, SMU is a better team than they were a couple years ago when we played them with a new quarterback. They showed yesterday with how they handled North Texas that they got a good football team. I could not watch the game. I just could not do it, but I did watch it on Monday, watch tape, and you pointed out a couple big mistakes. The turnover on special teams, the kickoff return on special teams. Those are, you don't typically overcome those two big mistakes in a close game like it was going to be. But our guys played really well last night. We did correct the big mistakes and played a really clean game in all three phases and found a way to get a win. That's what you got to do, improve from week 1 to week 2.
We'll take a look at the first half highlights when we come back on the Red Wolves Coaches Show. And we welcome you back into the Red Wolves Coaches Show. A-State defeating UNLV in Las Vegas last night by the score of 43-17. Want to take a look now at the first half highlights. A very hot night in the desert, 101 degrees at kickoff. Your team won the toss and deferred the football until the second half, so UNLV has the football first, and on the very first drive, it's Jeremy Smith with the pick six, takes it 35 yards to the house.
Yeah, that's a great way to start a game. On the road especially, to be able to get a defensive score. Non-offensive scores just seem to change everything. We saw that against SMU last week, just the momentum that the kickoff return gave them. The interception return here, about 4 different guys touched it, but Jeremy Smith, maybe with the fastest guy on our team, ends up in the end zone. Great way to start. You mentioned how hot it was. You could feel the heat coming off the turf. It was pretty toasty, but I thought our guys held up really, really well. We deferred because of the wind. It was blowing a lot harder than we expected, and it was a factor in the game, especially throughout the first half. So I thought it was really big for our guys to go out and play well defensively, and you can see right here, man, quarterback Rogers has got to be tired of playing us. This 2 years in a row, he just got beat up by our front. They hit him a bunch. It goes all 4 quarters, and it was a different guy, it seemed like, every time.
One of 6 sacks right there. Darion Jackson able to get the sack, putting the pressure on Armani Rogers. And again, you talked about Armani Rogers and seeing him last year. He rushed for 181 yards in that game in Jonesboro last year, just 4 rushing yards last night. Marcel Murray played only the first half last night, still had 10 carries for 59 yards.
Yeah, a little beat up. He blew a tire there on us, had a chance to maybe make that guy miss and score. He got a little rolled up at one point, and we just felt it was safe to pull him out. Other guys stepped up. Ryan Graham had a huge night, over 100 yards, and it's what we need. We need guys to step in when a guy goes down if we have injuries, but he's still playing at a really high level, and his body feels great. other than a little bit of rolled ankle. Hopefully it's not too bad. Another opportunity for a pick right there. BJ gets his hands on the RPO. They're trying to slip the tight end down the middle. We play it well with pressure up front, and then he gets his hands on it. So possibility for another turnover.
Your team on top 10-0 going in to the second quarter, and you see UNLV driving, but again, your defensive front getting the job done. You see Jeff Mario Brown in on the tackle. This was a long drive for UNLV. It was 16 plays, but ends with just 3 points.
We keep talking about making them kick it. Whether it's a punt or a field goal opportunity, if the defense can make them kick it, then we're winning. And that's something we didn't do a great job of the last couple of years, and we've made a big emphasis on it, and they did it last week. Made SMU kick field goals as well. Something that's, if we can continue to do that, it's going to help. You get the ball back to the offense, and Omar's just having an unbelievable season already in 2 games, just making explosive play after explosive play. He did come down on the ball. He's struggling to breathe right there. And one of the biggest issues a week ago was did not play competitive at the corner position. We were way too soft. I thought we mixed it up a lot better. Both Jerry and Jeremy had big plays. You see that one by Jeremy Smith. And then we get the opportunity to get great field position after a bad punt with UNLV. I'm trying to help the official find the spot.
I can tell you're excited about the spot too. And
absolutely.
You see Marcel Murray again getting inside the red zone. Your team goes 4 for 5 in the red zone. Marcel almost gets in here, but on the very next play, you're going to see Logan Bonner get into the end zone. Great effort, though, by Marcel.
Great effort. I think his knee was probably down. And, we get in a position here. There's a lot of bodies in a small space. There's going to be one guy that you can't block, and we put him in a position where he's going to be coming at an angle where it's tough to make a tackle. I thought Bonner did a good job making him miss. It's not something he does a lot of, but when we need him to carry the ball, he can. You get ourselves in a position where we're up a couple scores, and our defensive line, defensive front just continue to apply pressure, and it's different guys all the time. You got Juice getting involved there, William Bradley King, bunch of dudes, and then Ryan Graham had a big night stepping in where Marcel was kind of beat up, over 100 yards for the night, and he's been a great addition to our football team. 12
carries, 103 yards, and he's going to cap off this drive with his first touchdown as a Red Wolf. He gets in from 9 yards out. Want to go back now and look at the pick 6 on the very first drive of the ball game. Jeremy Smith actually tips this, and it goes off the hands of Logan Westcott before Jeremy returns it for the score.
We got him up here up top playing in some man coverage. They're going to run a shallow route, and he's going to chase, and he's actually going to end up in a position where he's able to initiate the play, and then he never quit on it. We played a little bit more man coverage. We put him in a position we felt like we could outrun him. I thought it was just really good by him not giving up on the play, and then we always talk about get to the near sideline. See Nathan Page make a block. Jeremy's fast enough to outrun a lot of folks, but he still needed one block. But the big key was just not giving up on it. If he did, it's going to hit on the turf. He goes and makes a play. He played some offense in high school. He'll tell you, Coach, I need some more opportunities. But that's big to get a defensive score, especially early on the road. A lot of momentum comes from that and just kind of lifts you and gets you going.
You mentioned earlier Jeremy's one of the faster players on the team, and I know he's one of the guys that David Duggan kind of challenged this week after the game against SMU.
Yeah, just didn't play as competitively at corner a week ago as we have seen in the past. And just some new coverages and just getting comfortable with it. But we put them in a position last night where they could just get comfortable and mix it up. And I thought both he and Jerry both played really, really well.
Yeah, A-State leads it by the score of 23-3 at the intermission. We'll take a look at the second half highlights when we come back on the Red Wolves Coaches Show. And we welcome you back into the Red Wolves Coaches Show. A-State leading UNLV at the intermission by the score of 23-3 as we take a look now at the second half highlights. Your team got the football first in the second half, and just a great opening drive.
Really good drive. For one, I thought we did a great job right before the half of using the clock up and making sure we didn't put our defense back out, but wanted to come out and put together a drive here. Big conversion there on third down. Jay Adams, making a play on a man-to-man route. We had pretty good numbers. We're a little, I think, right around 50% on third down for the night. Some big ones, but play here that just shows you what 13's capable of. I know he missed most of the game last week with a concussion. It was huge to get him back. I mean, he was cleared on Thursday. Protection's great. Nobody around the quarterback. You get it to Kirk, and he just got a gear that nobody else has.
Yeah, 4 catches last night for Kirk Merritt for 52 yards and a score. He was a Sun Belt Newcomer of the Year a season ago, and again, great to have him back on the field last night. And really in the second half, the defense just picked up where it left off.
Yeah, it didn't change. There's only a couple times that they were able to get out on us. We had a big run play midway through the second half where we had a breakdown, and a couple big plays late in the game when we started putting some new and young guys on the field. But when the ones were out there, they played very consistently. This was the end of a long drive here after a big play, and they're able to get one in the end zone. I know that was frustrating because we really felt like we could keep them out of the end zone altogether. We mentioned Ryan Graham earlier, and this was just probably his hardest run of the night. Just kept feeling like he was going to go down, and he just did a great job staying on his feet and maintaining the balance and making the extra yards for us.
He was a junior college All-American a season ago, and he comes in, you mentioned earlier, goes for over 100 yards on just 12 carries, that one for 37. And here's another Blake Grupe field goal. It was good to see him have a good night. He was 3 for 3 on his field goal.
Yeah, we need him to be. We need, it's inconsistent a year ago, challenged him in the offseason, brought in some competition to try to really make him uncomfortable, and he's gotten better. 3 for 3 with the wind blowing like it was. That wasn't that easy of a task. Nothing that was extremely long, but we really just need him to be good inside of 40. Defense getting after him again. Pretty much everybody got a chance to hit him on that one.
How about the night for Forrest Merrill? 7 tackles, 2 sacks. You saw one just a moment ago, and the guy right beside him, Kevin Thurman, also with 7 tackles and 1.5 sacks.
They always seem to show up in groups, and that's what you like. I mean, it's not just one guy making a play. You're seeing a lot of different jersey numbers. KT gets to him here. I thought the quarterback was hurt here. Goes down really awkwardly. He got up okay, played a little bit longer, but Kevin had a big game last night, and made plays when we needed him to make plays. Opportunity here for a pick, but it's 4th down. We should defend that and knock it down. I'm not sure that's what BJ was trying to do. He argued with me on that one. Looks like a guy's trying to catch the ball to me, but gets it back to us, and we go back to work. And maybe the biggest play of the night for us offensively here, because it kind of put things, just put them away. You knew at this point, mathematically, no way these dudes are going to catch up. And Omar gets in the end zone again for us.
It's the 3rd straight 100-yard receiving game for Omar Bayless, dating back to the bowl game last year. And this is his 5th touchdown of the season from 71 yards out. He's already halfway to the single-season touchdown record.
Well, and he'll have a chance to get it. Number one, he looked really fast right there, which is just a product of how hard he's worked. It's a big throw by Bonner to get it to him where he was. That's not an easy throw, and let Omar do the rest. I know he just emotionally, that meant a lot to him. He truly wants to play at a high level for me, and love Wendy to death. And I know he was choked up with just how the night went. Defense continued to do what they've been doing all night, just making the quarterback miserable.
Another outstanding night for William Bradley King. 3 tackles, but he was disruptive all night. He had 1.5 sacks. You saw the 6th sack of the night on Armani Rogers. There's Brandon Bowling with the catch, and here's Blake Grupe with a field goal. His 3rd in the night puts you up 43-10, and you win it 43-17. I want to go back now and look at one of the biggest plays of the night, the 71-yard touchdown pass from Logan Bonner to Omar Bayless.
We're in a position here where we need to put them away. It's you're up 3 scores, but you don't want to give them any momentum. This is a big 3rd and 11. Not an easy conversion, not an easy throw. And the way they were playing us, they're really forcing everything to the longest throw on the field. And fortunately, we're able to make that, and we're able to do what we need to do. I mean, throw and catch, and then from that point, it's just being a good ball runner with the ball in your hands and out in space. I think Omar has done a phenomenal job with his body. He is in great shape. He's faster than he was a year ago, and it's showing on the field. That's 2 weeks in a row, man. He's played at a really, really high level. I think that put them away. You could tell their demeanor changed, and we were able to comfortably get out of the game at that point.
Yeah, 6 catches, 149 yards, and this touchdown last night for Omar Bayless. And a great night, too, for Logan Bonner.
Yeah.
Some really good decision-making for him. He finishes 22 of 37, 284 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And we talked about it during the broadcast last night. Really didn't force anything either.
Yeah, he had a couple mistakes a week ago, a turnover and an interception. Held on the ball a couple of times. Really clean game. You can see progress from week 1 to week 2. And if he'll just continue to get better, he can make all the throws, and he's competitive and loves the game. So just little things, and you can see already in a week he got better.
And A-State evens up their record on the season at 1-1. They win it over UNLV by the score of 43-17. More to come on the Red Wolves Coaches Show right after this.
Second and 5, Ryan Graham finds a seam. Across the 40 to the 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Rachel says Ryan Graham completes the drive himself into the end zone for a touchdown.
And that was your drive of the game, brought to you by your Super Sport Chevy dealers. Your final stats brought to you by Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Your team, Coach, winning pretty much every category last night. You see you win the turnover battle, and you always talk about turnovers and explosive plays, and you certainly won both of those categories.
Yeah, both categories were 98, 99%, wins in that. And, obviously third downs are big, being able to stay on the field and move the chains, but 0 in the turnover category. The 6 sacks is a telling sign of just how difficult it was for them to move the ball. Obviously, they end up in a lot of third and longs. It just did not mix well for them. But ultimately for us, we won the 2 categories we need to win, and we get a W. You look at just a week ago, we did not, and you don't get the result you want. And our kids, they know that. They know what we're looking to try to get done.
We sat here last week and talked about third downs. You mentioned that just a moment ago, but you go 8 of 17 last night, much better offensively than what we saw against SMU. And then the defense, after SMU was over 50% last week, holds UNLV to just 3 for 16. And
a lot of that has to do with early down efficiency. We were able to move the ball a little bit better on early downs, stayed away from third and longs on our side, but pushed them in positions to where they had to be in third longs. And it's just not a good formula if you're behind the chains all night long. So there's a lot of factors that go into it that will change that. Defensive front did their job, and then our offensive line did a great job just kind of keeping us ahead of the chains all night long.
We'll be back to wrap things up on the Red Wolves Coaches Show right after this. Wrapping things up here on the Red Wolves Coaches Show as we take a look ahead now. Arkansas State will be on the road once again next Saturday as they travel to Athens, Georgia. They take on a top 5 opponent in the Georgia Bulldogs. And Coach, we see these games on the schedule pretty much every year. It was Alabama last year. And really, I know it's an environment that can be intimidating, but I know you want your players to go in and embrace that environment.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, it's a big challenge, big opportunity. Obviously, they're going to be top 5, I don't know, maybe ranked as high as 3 or 4 when we go in there, but it just creates an opportunity to do something really special. You got to control your emotions in a game like this, control what you can control. I mean, they're going to be great athletes across the board. We need to play our best football. We need to play mistake-free football. And we need them to maybe not play their best, and we need to capitalize on any mistake they make. That's the formula to win. If you do those things, you're right there in the game in the fourth quarter. You see it every week, opportunities. There were really close games this weekend in similar circumstances, and we've seen this in history. Teams just like us go in and get the win. So we're going to have a plan ready. We're going to prepare to win the game, but we're also going to be really very realistic about the matchups that are in our favor and the matchups that aren't, and try to maximize and minimize those as best we can.
You see these upsets across the world of college football every week, but so important to get off to a good start in the ball.
Yeah. Just we don't want to do their work for them. We want to make them earn everything they get. They got great athletes across the board, so when they make a play, hey, understand it, don't overreact, but don't turn the ball over, don't have snap infractions, don't have penalties, don't do stupid, silly things that just make it impossible to win. Tough enough to win on the road anyway, much less a top 5 opponent. But if we'll go in there and play clean ball, hey man, we can beat anybody on any given Saturday, and you see it in college sports. Football is maybe the one game that you see it the most.
Again, A-State takes on Georgia Saturday at 11 a.m. Our coverage on the EAB Red Wolves Sports Network from Learfield IMG College begins at 9 o'clock. That game will also be televised on either ESPN or ESPN2. For Coach Anderson and everybody who's been a part of this one, I'm Matt Stiltz. Good night, everybody.
The Red Wolves Coaches Show, sponsored by Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield, Arvest Bank, Super Sports Chevy Dealers, St. Bernard's Healthcare, and Stevens Incorporated.